Abdi. Thank you.
What do you guys think? Yes! What a brilliant speaker. Thank you for that. At the Community Relations Commission and the Mayor Michael Coleman's New American Initiative, where I work, we do community engagement, advocacy, and empowerment, and women role. You can't do empowerment and advocacy without having the backup and the support from our women. And for that, we're really very fortunate to have some women in our leadership. The City Council, 7 members of the City Council, majority of them are women now. We're very fortunate this afternoon here, to have a very special leader who serves Columbus City Council. In our work, she is a champion to support and encourage of the foundations of the community relations, the principles of civil rights and civil liberty, creating an environment that is accessible. She's interested in promoting multiculturalism, a champion for community engagement. I'm talking about none other than our own Eileen Bailey. She initiated a couple of years ago, she initiated a conversation, public forums, where she hosts each side of the city a conversation to promote equal access and equal opportunity for our city. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Eileen Bailey, the member of the City Council.
Thank you, Abdi. Good afternoon. My name is Eileen Bailey, and I'm proud to serve you on Columbus City Council as chair of the Community Relations Commission. First, let me thank Ms. Muhammad and the Center for Somali Women's advancement in this initiative to celebrate International Women's Day. What a great event. After all, it was on this date in 1884 that Susan B. Anthony addressed the United States House Judiciary Committee to argue for a constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote. And this was 16 years after the first introduction of the amendment. The 19th Amendment was finally passed in August of 1920. We women of the world are 1.5 billion strong worldwide. And I am happy to celebrate the fact that women make up the majority of Columbus City Council today. I look forward to the rest of the world capitalizing on the talents of the great minds of women. I listened to the panel here today, and I'm encouraged by the thoughts of partnerships and collaborations. That's what makes this city of Columbus what it is. It's about the people. We don't have mountains. We don't have a beach. We have us. And so it's part of the collaborations and partnerships that make this city the greatest place, as Mayor Coleman would say, to work, live, and raise a family. And fortunately, we have women like the ones on this panel that are joining us and making Columbus wonderful. It's what elevates Columbus to the position that it is. I am proud, as always, to be here today, and I'm proud to be part of us, the City of Columbus. Thank you for having me. 2015 International Women's Day. For those of you who don't know who Guadalupe Velasquez is, she does work for the Community Relations Commission for the City of Columbus, so she is part of our team.
I would like to thank CADRA and the organizing committee for selecting me to receive this award. I am humbled by your passion and advocacy for community work. I've spent 22 years myself as an advocate here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm advocating for immigrant and refugee rights and access and equality. And I see a few people here that I've worked with on committees in the past, such as Laura Joseph in the room. Laura, please stand and be recognized. And there are many others. I owe a great debt to immigrant women and refugee women here in the past 20 years. You have all been my teachers. I have a great deal of gratitude for what I have learned from you, but also from my family. You see, my mother was a Mexican immigrant, and my father was an immigrant of Mexican and Cuban descent. And my roots, and when I was raised in a town called Lorain, Ohio, which is very international, it was a city of immigrants. It was, other than Cleveland, the most populated city of immigrants. My family was very community driven and did a lot of community work. My uncle was the first Latino Hispanic principal in the state of Ohio, and he created the first bilingual program in the Lorain County city school system. So I'm grateful for what immigrants have done, but also what second and third generation immigrants go through. Often, as second and third generation immigrants, we are liaisons for our parents and for others who cannot maybe speak the language or understand as quickly the system that we're in. And so I hold a great deal of gratitude for the children of immigrants. I am the youngest of 18 children. So believe me, I understand what it is to struggle. So, we know that the U.S. economy was built on immigrants and refugees over and over through the century. Nonprofit institutions, such as organization foundations, were created to help with integration. Organizations, even recent, like the Center for Somali Women's Advancement, which is of course the founder of this event, and also supporting sponsors such as Arab American Community Organization of Ohio. We created opportunities. The City of Columbus created the New Americans Initiative to ensure that there was access for immigrant and refugee communities, and certainly everything is passed by City Council. So we are also grateful and indebted to City Council for their support of our global community. Can we give them a round of applause again, please? I'm also grateful to work with and know many individuals such as Nancy Payan and Jean Wu from Zen Shaw, but also my city colleague, who's also Commissioner, Rebecca Nelson. If you would please stand and be recognized. Rebecca is also one of those individuals who helped many, many years ago to support women and still does today, and I'm sure it's more than 20 years of work. So thank you, Rebecca. It's also important to know what immigrants have done in more specific data. Immigrants helped to launch approximately 1/4 of all of the high-tech firms in the U.S. from 1995 to 2000, including over a half of all of the firms in Silicon Valley. And more than a quarter of many Midwest states, like us, the state up north, and other smaller immigrant populations. Immigrants are roughly twice as likely to be self-employed than a U.S. born resident. Immigrants and children of immigrants to the U.S. started 41% of the Fortune 500 firms in the U.S., employing more than 10 million people worldwide and producing annual gross revenues of $4.2 trillion. Immigrants own more than 1/4 of all Main Street businesses. So this includes 58% of all dry cleaners in the US, 53% of all grocery stores. So when we think of Giant Eagle and Kroger, imagine immigrants have created more than 53% of all grocery stores in our nation, and 38% of all restaurants. And they represent 48% of the growth of the number of all business owners from the US. Also, did you know that 60% of all students in the US are women? Women are over 51% of the workforce, and as Sandra had alluded to, they hold less than 15% of executive leadership positions. And also, they hold less than 17% of board positions. I think that's why women, in general, are the fastest growing segment of businesses. So let's hear it for women. And just to bring something up from what the board was talking about, it is a known fact that if you ask a woman, and this has to go with women and girls valuing ourselves, if you ask a woman if they will run for office or if they should apply for a job, oftentimes women think we need the experience. Oh, maybe if I do something else, then I'll have enough experience to do the next one. But if you ask a man, 99% of the time, they'll say, okay, I'll try it. And so that's the difference, right? We need to empower and trust our power and use our voice, not only to lift up ourselves, but to lift up other women. And thank you, men who are in the room. Because men and women, when you're in a room and you see someone not represented, it's an opportunity for you to say who else needs to be in the room, whether it's a woman, whether it's an immigrant. We need to look, whether it's someone with a disability, we need to have all voices at the table. And so we need to continue to get to know each other, which I heard a lot of today, and lift each other up. And we need to bring men into the mix. This is what I'm committed to continue to do. A word to the youth. When you meet someone that doesn't agree with you or that you don't get along with, look at them as your teachers, as I look at many people in the room as my teachers. Kadra and the International Women's Day Committee, I thank you once again for this wonderful recognition.
We have certificates for our panel members. Zerka, and I may butcher these names, but I'll try. Zerka Abid.
Yes. Thank you. You want me to go down?
Marianne Dwally. Sandra Brogdon. And Master Sergeant Tamara Gonzalez.
Everyone, hang tight. The best of program is still yet to come. So I'd like to introduce you one of our committee members. She's been part of this organization for the last 3 years, and I've just watching her and how she interacts with everyone, I've certainly learned a lot from her, and that's one way of leadership I think most women can relate to, versus me being from the military background. I'm used to seeing a certain type of leadership. So this is a really great privilege for me to be part of this organization. So Samia Alzir, she's the president of the Arab American of Central Ohio, board member of the Noor Islamic Culture Center. She's also a board member of the Palestinian Palestinian Children Relief Foundation organization, board member of My Project USA. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the food. It smells very good. Make It Happen is the 2015 theme for our International Women's Day all over the world. The first International Women's Day was held in 1911. Thousands of events, charities, educational institutions, women groups, and the media celebrated the day. The March of the Women's Day started more than a century ago, but still have a long way to go before we get to equality.